universities in Singapore. So as you know, we have NTU and NUS who offer engineering. And this is how we say that our education is different from them. And there are 10 attributes you can see here that we hope our graduating EPD uh, students who will go out there and be very different from the other AU's graduates. So first of all, you can see industry and future ready. There's a Chinese saying, 活到老学到老. So important for us is to teach you how to fish so that after you leave us, you continue to fish. And in fact, we don't want you to leave us. We want you to continue to be associated with us in the years to come. Because I think the new minister, Mr. Chan, has been talking about how we can link very strongly with industry, and the knowledge, the things that will be very transformative will continue to be from your alma mater, and this is where we can establish that close link. As you know, so far you have taken our courses. Our courses are very holistic. It covers all aspects, not just from technology, but also from culture, humanities, understanding about climate change, sustainability, as well as legal and ethical issues. You will soon find out that we have a lot of problems statements in the courses that you take. Very hot hands-on, as you can see, number 9 there, very collaborative. Most of it will be team-based project, small cohort size, which enhance learning. At the same time, it's quite non-traditional pedagogy. You will definitely see it's multidisciplinary. We are not mechanical, we are not electrical. We are a mixture of all these different engineering skill sets, which will help you to develop a product when you go out there. And this is why coming to this point is later I'll share with you some good news why some of the very big companies are coming to work closely with us. And last but not least, we hope you will be the new breed of engineers who will go out there and develop new industries of tomorrow. This is what PM Lee said not too long ago. How we will continue to be competitive in the world is really to create new growth areas, coming out, be very daring, going out there and transform the industry. Not the other way around. We transform the industry, not the industry transform us. So we have to be the leaders. We have to be the catalyst of change. Next slide. So this is a survey that was done by MIT independently some years ago, looking at how university education is taking place around the world. And we're talking about emerging. So we are 11 years old. So the survey put SUTD top in terms of the way we approach higher education. Next slide. And of course, we always have to listen to our paymaster, that's MOE. So this is a report card from them, not from us, which actually pits us against all the other AUs, like for like, that means Apple against Apple. So you can see from this spider web that the blue line from SUT Engineering, we are doing very well as compared to the other AUs. So in 11 out of 12 areas, our students, our graduates are far better than them. Only one which is on par, that's written communication. I'm sure there's something you can improve on. If you look at the boxes at the bottom, our intake has very good intake scores from both A-level and poly. And what's most meaningful to all of you is our graduates earn higher pay than the others. Okay, next slide. This was something that came out in March last year. Again, restating the fact that our graduates actually end up with higher median starting pay. So it's good. This is something which means that the employers actually treasure our graduates. Next slide. And it's more specific to EPD. You can see that a lot of regional as well as Singapore tech firms, they are looking for engineers and product managers. So this is a very, very hotly sought after talent crunch. And this is also precisely the reason why many companies are coming to us, because they are here for that same talent stream. They want to see where can they get the best graduates from Singapore. Okay, and that's why they come in to partner with us. Next slide. So these are the employment data, which again explains very well. We look at the 2020, we have 94.6 who found first job in less than 6 months. Very nice, a very high number. And some of the top hiring companies you can see below, AMD, mainly our electrical people, DSO for research, same as DSTA that manage very large scale defense contract. Dyson is one of our very strategic partners, and our share a little bit more later, and so on and so forth. Next slide. So very briefly, this came out recently. The Stanford University came out a list of top 2% scientists in the world. I think they started in 2020, and then they did the second one in 2021, which caught our eyes that we realized that SUTD, if you look at a pie chart on the right, has got 24% of SUTD faculty listed as top 2% scientists in the world. This is very high. You look at any other university, to find 1/4 of the faculty listed as top 2%, very rare. So I think we can give ourselves a pat on the back for doing so well. Now, if I go a bit further and look at EPD, we have a big share of that as well. 10 of our colleagues are actually among EPD are in the top 2%, and that is 43%. Again, this fares very well. I have actually even analyzed further looking at NTU, which I came from. I spent quite a lot of my time there. So I look at some of the engineering schools there. We are on par with them. So guys, we are very good, right? Just take note of that. We have very good faculty among us. Next slide. Oh, this is the age profile and also the kind of destination among the 10 of them. So just want to highlight that 7 of the 10 are still very young, 44 and below. So which means this faculty will be around another 20, 25 years, which means the future is also very bright for EPD. Next slide. These are the top 10 guys in the EPD who have done very well, top 2% scientists. Let me see. And there are 3 ladies among the 10. Hey, 30%. Next slide. So these are very specific colleagues that I just want to share very quickly. Prof. Wing, probably you will get to know her. Is a material scientist who has done very well, and her work in material science has actually impacted 2 very key industries. One is energy, and the other is water. Clean energy is something very important. At the same time, water is a very big key resource of Singapore. So these are 2 areas where she's translating her work into. Next slide. Mohan is our poster boy. Not sure whether you have met him, but we speak of him very highly because of his translation work. When we talk about research, we always talk about fundamental work, but Mohan has translated it to an industry where he has spun off, I think, 3 companies by now, selling robots all around the world. So you can see the make and design in SUTD, design and make in Singapore, where you see his Lions bought cleaning robots are all over the countries that you can see here. So very, very well done in reaching out to impact the whole world. Next slide. So these are some of the robots he has. Lion bought mainly cleaning robots to impact a very manual, very tedious kind of industry that is cleaning. So he has reconfigure robots that can impact the area of the clean. I better move on. Next slide. All right, Meichi, our MC today, and Hongi in the background, my deputy, who will be sharing after me, have done something which is also very important, carbon capture in urban cities, a very innovative idea, and which I think they will get lots of funding in this area. Next slide. Very quickly, I just want to share a little bit of our newest track. This was proposed 2 years ago, and very quickly, over 6 weeks, we got the support of all the pillar heads and cluster heads, mainly because the courses offered through this track actually comes from all the different pillars. It's not just EPD offering it, but you can be in EPD and then enjoy the cherry, so you can eat the cake as well. So Industry 4.0 is where we are today, but it has transformed over the last 250 years. What you can see from this slide is things are shrinking. It took almost 100 years in the first 2, but when it comes to the in 3.0, 4.0, it only took about 50 years. And it will continue to shrink. Next slide. So beyond Industry 4.0 has got a number of very key technologies that you can see on the left-hand side: robots, 3D printing, data analytics, and so on and so forth. So we are putting together this curriculum as to prepare you to go out there and change the industry, to transform the industry. So it's not just learning about the individual pockets, but also the area that interface between 2 different areas. I give you an example. AI is now almost in every industry, and it's also in 3D printing. So you can use AI machine learning to improve the 3D printing process. Robots can be used in 3D printing to print very large structures, like your bathroom, those things in the building and construction. So you can see that the interface of different pockets of technology is also very key to this Beyond Industry 4.0. Next slide. So you can see that it's not just a matter of offering curriculum. We managed to talk to many companies who have come in to sponsor all the study awards, Makino, Mayban, Dyson, Autodesk, where they give top prizes for the top students of those projects, or even the entire track, or even a project in 3D printing. And then we also have partners around the world in America, Europe, as well as Asia, so that you can spend a term overseas. We're hoping that soon the travel ban will be lifted and there'll be opportunities for you to go on exchange. Next slide. So I want to share a little bit about this 3D printing award, which is given by James Foundation. So last year, we first started it and we worked on the musical instrument 3D printing project. So that impressed the engineers from Dyson so much that they went on to work on a bigger project with us. So this was the kind of initiate the whole thing. Next slide. I think these are some of the very nice musical instruments printed by our students. Next slide. Yeah, I want to share this. This is the latest. In fact, it was very timely because yesterday it appeared on Straits Times. Dyson mentioned that they invested $3 million in Singapore. Quite a substantial of that amount is coming to us. And you will soon see that there will be a Dyson SUTD Innovation Studio. This will take place in our ARMS Lab 1 and 2. We will take the opportunity to renovate it, revamp it, and this is how it looks like. It will have that touch and feel of Dyson on campus. And of course, not only for renovation, we are also going to have upgrade of some of our equipment. And there'll be a whole year long of events where Dyson engineers will be involved in our projects. Just to kick off this week, I also brought in the Dyson engineers to work with us on a project. So we're going to get our students to 3D print gliders. So those are more term 7 students, so you probably have not heard it. Yeah. And then separately, I think I also have a slide on the competition. Yeah, there you are. Separately, you can see on the right-hand side, we have a nationwide competition also sponsored by James Dyson. So this one is more to look at lean manufacturing. The students from JC, Poly, they will look at maybe something which is very tedious, where productivity can be used to improve through 3D printing. So we're going to allow this to run from January all the way to June. At the same time, on the left-hand side, I managed to get 3 other sponsors, Armstrong, a local engineering company, OCBC, we all know OCBC, and then Singapore Food Agency, and a very exciting area, possibly the world first. We are doing this, a competition in digital food. So we want to train our chefs to think about digitizing your food instead of always just going to the kitchen to whip up a meal. Can I now go to a computer, design it? And of course, there are a lot of obvious benefits in 3D printing the food itself. Okay, no time to share more, but this will be another very exciting things for our JC and Poly students. So these 2 competition will start in January and will go on all the way to June. In fact, in March, the first episode where we are printing yam, Channel News Asia will come in on 18 March to film this entire first episode. So it's very exciting. Next slide. Okay, all of you will always be interested in what's your career after you spend your 4 years with us. Well, on the left, you can see all the round yellow circles. These are all the different verticals that you can think of. You can go to aerospace, you can go to biomedical, you do healthcare track, and so forth. Well, on the right-hand side, you'll see that the whole lot of both industry as well as government and state boards places are available. So our students are joining all these different organizations. Next slide. So these are some of our your seniors who have gone on to work in these various companies, both private as well as government. Next slide. And there are others who are interested to pursue a PhD or a master's, and these are some examples of both local as well as overseas universities. Next slide. Again, there's a very small group of your seniors who go on to do very well as an entrepreneur. So you have that in your blood, you're very interested to become a businessman, this is something you can consider as well. Next slide. Well, we have done very well EPD. Almost every year we have a valedictorian representing EPD. Next slide. Ken Chua is one of another poster boy we talk about a lot. He has a special passion for disabilities. And that's why he set up this company called Disabilities, where he actually look at applications for this special group of people like apps and other kind of applications. And he has done very well. He was voted as one of the top 30 under 30 years old Asia social entrepreneur. Next slide. I think this is my last, right? Am I right, Nadia?
Yes, it's your last.
Okay, can. So maybe I will hand over to Hong Yi.
Cool. Yeah, so thanks a lot, Professor Chua. So, just to share with everyone as well, don't worry too much about all this information, because in the coming years, when you're with us in EPD, we will also have additional sessions like the EPD forum, where we will invite companies in, and you will be able to ask these companies directly about internship opportunities or career opportunities. Right? So do look out for any of these emails coming from either Nadia, Catherine, for any of these events. The entire purpose is to clarify your doubts. So moving on next to the agenda, I would like to invite Professor Loh Hong Yi, who is also the Associate Head of Pillar for EPD, to share with us a welcome back, as well as some of the things happening in the research front at EPD. Yeah.
Thanks, Meichi. I don't have a presentation. I'm actually happy to look at my screen now because I see faces. So I would actually say welcome to the EPD families. We are talking about term 4. So even though this is your our first engagement with you as the EPD students, I recognize some of the names. Mostly for those who have been involved in a research project, Europe project, with colleagues or faculty in EPDs. So I think it's really nice to see that some of you has already been engaged even before your official entry into the EPD family. My other responsibility is also as the director for the Digital Design and Manufacturing Research Center in SUTD. So if any one of you is interested to explore research with DMND, having a research attachment with DMND, I'll be happy to talk to you. I have a open door practice. So here's a challenge, right? If you can find my office, you're welcome to step in. If I'm in here, you can talk about anything you want about EPD, about your learning experience or your research experience. So anything. I guess the challenge to find our office right now is because of the restricted access path in the campus. But yeah, so I'm gonna stop here. Again, welcome. I hope to see you, interact with you personally one of these days.
Cool, no problem. I think you can, just for the student body, if you really want to know Hong Yi's office, you can bribe either Catherine, myself, or Nadia. I don't know what you will get if you end up finding her office, but good luck. All right, so thanks a lot, Hong Yi. Moving on next, we have Xiaowei here, the main contact person for a lot of the curriculum related matters, and he has been instrumental in helping us craft the various tracks and minors, right? So he's here to, I guess, introduce to you some of the options available amongst the different tracks within EPD, where if you choose, you can actually really focus and pursue your interests. So Professor Feng Xiaohui, next, yeah.
Yeah, hi everybody. Wait, I need to have permission to share. Okay, very good, thank you. Yeah, so hi everybody, I'm Xiaohui. I'm one of the faculty here in EPD. So I've been here quite some time. So if you have any questions about EPD, I'll be more than happy to answer. Particularly anything to do with your classes, curriculum, what to take, tracks, minors. Yeah. So for today, I'll just give you a brief overview of the EPD curriculum. Especially, I think you can see my screen right now. You are right now in term 4, and you just already covered 3. So you're sort of almost halfway through the SUTD academic journey. So you have still 5, 6, 7, 8 to go. For term 4, the good thing is you actually don't need to choose any classes. All 3 classes have been automatically selected for you. The first choice comes in term 5, where you need to decide whether you want to take between fluids and EM, depending on what track you do. And again, I will cover this. And then term 6, 7, and 8 are elective courses. And I think many of y'all will probably use one of these semesters for exchange, right? And then of course, the other semester you can use it for internship. And then you will be the first batch to graduate in May. So all our previous graduates always graduate in September. You'll be the first batch to graduate in May. Yeah. Okay. So let me get in. So this semester is term 4, and then you will continue in the summer semester for term 5. And where's my mouse? Yeah. And then this is the detailed one for EPD. So right now for term 4, you are taking 3 classes plus 1 HAS, 30 structures, circuits, and our flagship design course, engineering design innovation, 30/7. I hope you all enjoy this course. This course is probably something that almost all EPD students will remember after they graduate. For term 5, you can see you have to take 2 classes, 2 core classes. So term 4 and 5 are essentially core semesters. You have to take 30, 100, and 101, which is computational and data-driven engineering and system control. Both are important sort of building blocks classes which you will need specifically for your future classes in electives, as well as capstone. Right. So from term 6, 7, 8, you can see these are the electives. It really depends on what you want to do. You can take multiple tracks. You can even do a minor and all sorts. So let me go through. We have, I think, if my memory serves correct, EPD still has the largest number of electives that you can take. Like we offer the most diverse types of classes that you can take in all the pillars. So as you can hear, we have like almost 20 courses easily. If I don't even include the O1 classes. So O1 classes are the university-wide electives, but the 30.xxx are the EPD-centric pillar electives, as well as advanced pillar electives. And you can see we have a wide range. Let me go to the next. So we have 7 tracks of EPD. The main 2 are the ME and EE. And the reason why I say main is because many students who intend to become a professional engineer, you will have to take these tracks. But you can also take the computer engineering, healthcare, robotics, and of course, Prof. Chua introduced the Beyond Industry 4.0, as well as if you think that none of this suits your needs, you can always do the self-directed, which is essentially you choose whatever classes you want and that works. So I'll just go through some of them, which I will think many of you will be more interested in. So self-directed tracks, as the name suggests, is you will be able to take any EPD classes that you want. So in any semester, whichever you want, you can always replace up to 3 courses with any courses in the university. So you can actually replace it with any xx.xxx. So if you want to take a course from ICD, you want to take a course from ESD, as long as you satisfy the prereqs, you will be able to take it. You can substitute up to 3 classes in term 6, term 7, 8 for anything else. Yeah, so any up to 3. You can do all 3 in one semester, and that's a common approach if you plan to do GXCP. So if you go to exchange, right, and it's very difficult to find a course exactly that what we have in SUT. So we use that opportunity to do an arbitrary course in the university, then you can transfer back as an unrestricted elective. You can also use this 3 unrestricted elective to help you sustain or achieve your minor without overloading. Right. So this is something, again, maximum of 3, and you can use all 3 in one semester. Although I don't really recommend it, but if you are going for exchange, that might be the only way. So robotics is also shown here. I just want to highlight the red color. Red color means, you can see here, you must take this course. So for robotics, if you don't take intelligent robotics, it means I don't think you really are taking a robotics track. So this class is required. And then the rest, you can see there are a lot of choices. So for example, term 6, you can choose between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 courses.
1 sec.
Right, and then of course, you can decide whether, again, it also applies that you can take other classes, technical electives, as long as you stay within the maximum of 3 exchange. I will go quickly to the ME track, which is a little different. It has this red color tracks. That means you must take fluid mechanics. So for example, if you maybe in term 5 decided to take EM, right, for some reason, and then if you want to go to the ME track, you must find a way to take this course. Yeah, so you have to make sure that in term 5, if you want to become or take the ME track, you must take the fluid mechanics. And then of course, when you go to term 6, you need to take MED, right? And after the rest are selections. In particular, for the ME track and the E track, the exchanging for the electives is a little more restricted. You can't actually choose any 3 electives. And the reason is because these 2 tracks are governed a little more tightly by the Professional Engineering Board of Singapore, which states that if you want to exchange from any of these courses, you can. But the list of courses is a bit limited compared to the rest of the tracks, which means you can use any. So here is the approved list of electives. We are trying to actually increase it, but it takes approval from the Board of Engineering Board. So we can't actually alter it ourselves. We have to seek the Board of Engineering to actually do the program. But we are actually trying to add this so that you have more electives. Right now, the electives list here is designed such that if you plan to do the AI minor with the ME track, it's quite feasible. You can do it. Okay. So electrical engineering track, same as ME. Tuned for if you really want to become a professional engineer. If you don't know what's a professional engineer, don't worry. At the end, I will explain what it is. You will actually have to stick to this track. And for electrical engineering, you have to take EM. See, ME, you have to take fluids. For electrical engineering, you have to take electromagnetics, and of course here you have to take power electronics. The reason for this requirement is that when you if you want to become a PE, right, they will actually test you in this specific area. So this is to ensure that when you take the exam in future, you will be able to do the exam. Okay, and then maybe I'll just go through the Beyond 4.0 track, which is a little special because it has a lot of cross-pillar classes. So you can see that you will not only take EPD 30.xxx classes, you will be able to take 40.xxx, which is ESD, as well as 50.xxx, which is ISTD. So this is really a cross-disciplinary, cross-pillar track. So if you are really interested in 3D printing, the future of manufacturing, I think this is a course which is very, very new, but yet very popular. In fact, the class 30.303 is completely full this semester. Prof. Chua's class is like completely full. So I think if you're really interested in this track, do consider it. Right, I'll skip that. So I'll just go through some of the minors that you can take. So to satisfy a minor SVT is very simple. You just need to take 5 courses, right? 2 of them will be cross-fitted the major requirements. You can double count this with your EPD. But the remaining 3 must be taken as electives, right? So you must specially select this. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 minors that you can do. You can do dive minor, AI minor, CS minor, ES minor, IS minor, DTS, as well as DH minor. The last 2 are the humanities. Actually, it's possible for you to do 2 minors. You can always do a technical minor, which is one of the dive, AI, CS, ES, and IS, plus 1 humanities minor. Means you're allowed to do 2 of this, but you cannot do 2 technical. For now, I still haven't seen a student who does 2 minors yet. Maybe one of you would be the first to take this dive. So for dive minor, you will have to take 4 courses. As an EPD student, it's actually very, very straightforward to do a dive minor because the 4 courses here, you already automatically can take as an EPD student. So 3007, all you will take. 3101 is part of EPD curriculum. For certain tracks, you can take it. And then this capstone is entrepreneurial capstone. So already 4. And then the last one is you choose one from this selection here. Most students here will select engineering management. Right, but again, you're free to choose. So once you do all these 5 courses, you will be able to get the dive minor. I would only recommend for this if you plan to have a startup. I mean, if you don't actually plan to have a career in this, do not do this. There's actually no news for that. Another very popular minor is the AI minor. For the AI minor, you need to take 3 of these core classes, the elements of software of 50.003, 003, 004. Machine learning and AI. So you must take this. And what I need to tell you guys is each of these classes has its own prereqs. So you have to make sure that if you plan to take these courses, you must make sure that when you want to take it in that semester, you have the necessary prereqs. That can be taking a course before this, or possibly you talk to the instructor and you prove to the instructor that you have the necessary prereqs. Once you've taken these 3 courses, you can select from the last 2. And the reason why I bolded these classes here is because these are EPD courses. So that means if you take, let's say, intelligent robotics, it will satisfy both your AI minor requirements plus your EPD track requirements. You can take the others, just that means you have to take more courses, you have to overload. Right? So if you take the classes boarded, it double counts. If not, it does not. So make sure that. Another one is, of course, the CS minor. CS minor is, I would say, a more generalized version of the AI minor. You just need to take 1 CSD course, so one of these numbers here. Choose any 2 CSD courses which that is non-core, as long as not the list of here. and it's a 50.xxx, satisfy that. And then the remaining 2, you just choose from, again, 30.xxx courses, system control, DSP, natural politics. As long as you choose 2, you can get the CS minor. So by far, most EPD students, right, many of them who do take a minor will take the first 3 here: dive, CS, and AI. It is possible to take an ES minor, just not so popular. So in that case, you need to take 2 courses here, take 2 electives, right? And take 2 courses here. One of them is actually a required course in Freshmore. It's the modeling extensively. It's actually converted to another course, but it's still there. And then 2 electives from ESD, and then 2 electives again from EPD possibly, so that you can actually do it quite easily. Healthcare informatics is relatively new, just launched. So if you're interested in healthcare, you can do the healthcare engineering design track in SUTD, in EPD, and also take up the healthcare informatics minor, so that you are doubly loaded both in the EPD as well as the minor. And that's quite straightforward. You just take many of the classes that you will be having to take as a healthcare track, right? And then this 30.203, that is a required course in the healthcare engineering track in EPD. Right, so then we don't need to record down. We can send this to you. And then if you want to do a minor in humanities, you want to do a DTS minor, this only requires you to take specific humanities classes. So this one will require you to ensure that in each semester you take the correct electives for you to satisfy this. So just make sure you can. And then the other one is the digital humanities. Very similar, just that the number of courses, the type of courses is a little different. Right. And then the last thing I want to touch on is the professional engineer. So a professional engineer is something like an engineer that can sign off documents. So if you're satisfied that something is safe, your name is there, right? You can be in SUTD, we have 2 tracks that give you the PE. There are actually 3 types of PE: silver, electrical, and mechanical. We don't really have a silver track in SUTD, so we cannot do that. But we can do electrical engineering and mechanical engineering track PE. So in order to become a PE, you first need to have a degree, an engineering degree in the correct specialization. So if you do EE and ME track, that's good. Then you will need to actually take a written and oral exam administered by the board of PE board, right? Essentially, it's something similar to what you have learned, but a little bit more applied. And then the third point here, very important, you need to work for 4 years first. Then you can take this exam to become a PE. So once you graduate, you cannot become a professional engineer unless you have worked 4 years prior to SUTD. And of course, you need to be good character, reputation, and then be able to carry out duties as a PE. There are around about 5,000 PEs in Singapore, so it's not a very high number, but if you are interested, this is a valid career to go to. Yeah, so I think that is all I have. Anybody has any specific questions?
I think there are a number of questions in the chat, I think, shall we?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. How come there's 2 near there? Okay, that's not a question. We declared our track before term 4 started. Is it possible to change track before term 5? Yes, definitely. Because term 4, everybody takes the same. So actually, I mean, we do expect students to change tracks. It's normal because I think as you take courses, in term 4, you might decide something is right for you, something is not right for you. Yes, so you can change track. Next question, is entrepreneurship capstone the same as normal capstone? Not quite. The problem, okay, so for normal capstone, right, the problem is sourced from industry, right? It's an industry. For entrepreneurship capstone, right, you have to come up with a product or business plan, and then you have to go and find the money yourself. So that is the different part for entrepreneurship capstone and capstone. So entrepreneurship capstone, you really need to find a team to work with. For normal capstone, you can go in and then you select the course, select the projects that you want, and then they'll try to match you. So that's the difference. Does working in SUD working board as student count for? So you're asking, I think you're asking about the PE board. I'm not sure, because if you need to work, you cannot just working like not engineering related doesn't count out. You have to be working in an engineering related field, like maybe drafting, something like calculation. You cannot just say I just work at some place and that counts. It's a specific practical with practical experience. So if you can do that, yes, I guess it counts. For the self-direct check, what are the slots like since 3 courses? This meant for this specific tracks. I'm not sure what you mean by slots. If you're asking whether we like block out certain classes for certain tracks, we don't accept unless the course is required for the track. So for example, if you are in E track, you must take power electronics. We will definitely give you the priority to get it. Yeah. So if you're in subdirected, essentially you can take almost any course, but of course, we will have to give priority for those restricted track courses. Okay, do we have a chance to claim minor again? I think there's a specific timeline for you to declare. I think it's in term 5. So you should do that sooner than later. Yeah, you can't wait until like term 8 and say, okay, I decided to do a minor. You can't. You have to declare that as early as you can. For certain tracks that have restricted electives from the other periods, do we have priority for it? Is it some set? So actually, there are no tracks. In every track, there's no restricted class from other pillar. I don't believe so. I do not believe that we designed any track that has a course that's required for other pillar. It's more of an option. You can take it or not. See, all the red color is all EPD courses, like you see power electronics, EM. So definitely we will be able to manage you, right? In the degree side, does it say, like I think every track with aim, right? It says special engineering. So in your degree, your track is not stated, but your minor is. Yeah. Your track is only in the transcript. Yeah. When must we declare minor? Term 5? I believe it's term 5. The green ones. The green one doesn't mean it's required. It's an option. You can take it or not. You can actually have all 3 red color here. Yeah. Only when it's red color, like this, means you must take it. You must. Yeah. In other color doesn't mean you have to take it. Yeah. Yeah. I think I covered all the questions. Anybody else has any other questions?
Yeah, so I mean, some of these questions, if let's say it does come up, right? There are a few people that you can turn to inquire. One of them is, of course, your faculty mentor that has been assigned to you. If not, of course, you can always ask, Catherine here, and basically she will be able to direct you to the right people to help you answer. All right. So don't worry about it. You can always ask almost anytime. And sorry, I'm getting distracted by basically some of the things that's written here. Yeah, so some of these things, because of the changes that's happening within SUTD, sometimes we may not be able to answer all the time, so sometimes please be patient with us. The other group of people who's really important in EPD, in terms of addressing student concerns and have been very instrumental towards connecting the students, administration, and faculty is none other than our EPD node. All right, and I have been very fortunate so far to have been working with very friendly node representatives. Last year it was the awesome Shini who has been helping us, and I think Shini will be here to share a little bit about node and student life. Meanwhile, if you still have any other questions, please use the chat. When we can, we will definitely respond to that. Shini, over to you.
Thank you, Meichi. Yes. I will be sharing the slides. Just one second. Wait. Yeah. So slideshow, right? Okay. Yes. So if y'all can see my screen, I cannot see y'all, so I'm just gonna take yes. Yes. So I'm EPD rep. So my name is Shin Yi, and I'm the current EPD senior representative. And I am here to introduce NODE, which actually stands for Not Only Doing Engineering. So NODE is actually a committee made up of EPD students, and we represent the EPD students in our batch. So for example, I'm EPD rep, right? And I represent my batch. And then there are NODE members from my batch as well. So let's go on to who am I. So like I said, my name is Shini. So I'm the senior representative, and a little insight to myself is that I'm currently specializing in robotics. So I'm in the robotics track. I'm going to graduate next year. And as you can tell, I think some of you have met me before at the soldering workshop, or sometimes you'll see me around school. I'm super chatty and I'm so hard to miss. You can ask all the professors. I think like once they see me, they cannot forget. Yeah. So I also call myself the EPD hotline because all my batchmates come to me when they have problems. Yes. So my role as EPD rep. So right, okay. As EPD rep, my job is basically to be the bridge between the students and the pillar. So that includes the pillar faculty as well as the pillar admin. I think that sounds really cliche. So let me just give you a little bit more details. So we take care of the welfare of the students, and we do our best to help in the pillar, especially in admin matters. And sometimes we gather feedback and we get back to faculty and try and resolve some of your issues. So we help to raise issues faced in the pillar in regular meetings. So we have to attend meetings in the Student Association Council. So that's one. And then we also meet up with our pillar admins. Like I meet up with Catherine to talk about certain issues. And then we try and make sure that you guys are having a good time in school and you guys are learning. Yeah, so other duties also include other meetings. So sometimes like this term, I'm attending some meetings with Fab Lab to make sure that everyone has like access and everyone's happy with how their projects are coming along. And then also we have dialogue with senior management. Not sure if you guys have attended any of them, but we during those times, you also raise up issues to senior management. And we also plan events. So let me just introduce the team to you first. So this is the Note team. We have Revati from events, Hao from events, and Hui Xiang is also from events. And then Jia Jie and Wei Heng from marketing. Anshika and Ethan are from outreach. So events basically is events, planning your events, and marketing, we work on the EPD Instagram. Outreach, sometimes we talk to external parties when they have events in EPD. So maybe I can give you an example of what kind of events we hold in EPD. So yeah. So some of the events that we've done over the last year, actually the EPD shirt design was done the year before, so in 2019, but because of the timetable change. So we did the EPD shirt design competition, and you can see here, this is our winner, and this is the winning design. Not so sure if you guys have seen the shirt around, but don't worry, you guys will get to design your own t-shirt this year. As Mechi has mentioned, EPD Forum. So we've invited companies like Mayban, Dyson, AMD, Tan Tock Seng, as well as Shell for last year's EPD Forum. Yeah, so they came to talk about their company and what kind of like career opportunities there are out there. This is different from CDC. Yes, it's a better version. Yes, and then for open house last year, we did guess the print. So we actually published like this time lapse video on the school website, and then people have to guess what we printed. So what we printed last year was actually a 3D printer. So we 3D printed a 3D printer, and we were very fortunate to get a partnership with Demandi to help us with our prints, because 3D printer is quite big, and the regular Fab Lab printers are not enough. So we got to showcase quite a different 3D printer, like different kinds of 3D printing to the public. Yeah. Just recently, I think some of you guys attended our soldering workshop. Yeah, it was initiated by our Note member as well. Because of the change in timetable, we really wanted to help the Term 4 students gain a little bit of skills to help you guys in your 30007 journey. Yeah. So if you guys are interested in the roles and in being part of this committee, be it being in the events, marketing, outreach, or you want to be EPD rep, interested, and you feel that this is the kind of thing that you want to do, you can apply now with the QR code, or you can drop me a DM on Telegram. My handle is Shini_Tan, and then we can always talk about it. So if you have questions, you can also drop them in the form. Yeah. So actually my sharing is, I've come to the end of my sharing. Yes.
Yeah, and that is in a very odd manner, a very short sharing from Shini.
Yes.
And I owe her a treat. I still remember that.
Yeah.
All right.
Actually, I need to show you guys one more thing. So as a EPD tradition, we always have a welcome toolkit for our new EPD students. Actually, it's quite new, and we are very fortunate to have it. So this is a poster done up by Arms Lab. I think you guys should have received it in your email, but here are some details that you guys should look out for, when to collect it, and safe management measures should be adhered to. Yeah.
Yeah, just one more thing. We actually need volunteers to help with the distribution. So if you are keen, you're available, then you can either drop me an email or you can reach out to Shini. Maybe she can help me collate. Yeah, so we'll just need 2 people. So you can just reach out to us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so thanks a lot, everyone. Meanwhile, again, thanks again for everyone, coming into the session today. This will be the first of many sharing sessions. We hope to really hear from you. So honestly, when we work together with Shini, the team of us, we are usually really trying to listen to your feedback and address your concerns, and oftentimes I think we have managed to I guess address it either in part or in full, all right, where we really try to find meaningful solutions that helps everyone. All right. Sometimes things happen in an unintentional manner, all right, but I think the question is how we move forward from here lah. All right. So do let us know, if there's anything that we can always help you. The channels are open. We have Catherine and Nadia from the undergrad team. We have the NOT representatives, and of course, any of the faculty mentors that you can turn to. Right. So I think we are near the end of this session, but we can always hang around, to address any other questions that you may have, where we can help you. Yeah. Clement is asking if there's any other time slot for the toolkit collection. Shini, can I check? Are you the one coordinating?
It's actually the ARMS team, but maybe if you're not able to collect during the allocated time, you can let us know, and we try to arrange another slot for you, or we can arrange for someone to collect on your behalf.
Hi, Wen Jing here. Yeah. Hi, Clement. Wen Jing here. So if you didn't collect on that day, you always can drop ARMS an email, or you can collect during your lesson time. Yeah. Thank you.
Cool. Yeah. Any other questions? Happy to answer them where we can. Everyone ready for the Chinese New Year break already? Maybe that is why you should look for Hong Yi. Find where her office is.
Not now. I have not prepared any Hong Bao to give away.
Mei Chi is ready to accept bribes now.
Yeah, correct. Open door policy, Everyone is good. Okay, I think there is some questions here. EPD GXP question. Kind of. So one of the questions here is, if there are questions about that, who should they approach? Is between Catherine and your faculty mentor, those are two people. It kind of depends on what is the type of questions you have, the application-oriented part or advice on the types of classes for the exchange, right? Yeah.
So maybe, Carissa, you can drop me an email with your questions. Let me see whether I can direct you to someone or I can help you answer that.
When are we supposed to finalize our track? I don't think there's a golden rule to that. I mean, generally, most students at the end of, I would say, term 5 or 6, they usually would, know their tracks already. But I have seen students where if they meet the requirement, request for a change in track, even term 7. But the key thing is you must meet the requirements of the track if you want to change it.
Yeah. And I think the rule is if you have a track in mind already, you can work towards your track requirements and start taking modules, plan it accordingly. So you may not be able to change too late into that also. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Again, feel free to ask any questions. We are all here to help you. Have fun during this EPD time. All right. I think that is quite important during these intense project periods. Yeah. Okay.
Hi, I would like to ask, right, for mechanical engineering, the professional engineer certification, right? Is it that we have to take certain modules and have it as the mechanical engineering track, or can we do another track but take the same modules and still be available for that certification?
You must have the ME track listed.
Oh, okay.
Help me out a little bit. What does PNR mean? Oh, Oh, I think I figured it out. You mean
Is
the
it the
pass and
pass
no
fail?
record results?
Yeah.
Actually, I'm not familiar with that set of guidelines, and this is very new to me. Yeah, I am really not sure about that part, unfortunately, but we can certainly find out more, from the various officers about, whether you can modify, how many more times can you modify. Yeah. Because this is one of the things that is very new to me, that you can select a subject for PNR. Previously it used to be applicable only to the first year, first term, right? So we'll try to find out more and let you know. All right. Any other questions? Are you guys still having fun first week of, I guess, class in this pandemic era, pseudo pandemic era? How does she need so far shake head already? It's only Friday.
I think by Tuesday I see already. Yeah.
Okay. The rest should be quite okay. You have, Uncle Joel, right? So should be okay lah. Have some fun. Why everyone so miserable? It's only week 1. Okay. All right. Really, seriously, now you may be inundated with things, but do consider, asking around, having some time away from just, focusing on the academics, make some friends, do your stuff. Where can we find more information on each elective in EPD? I think on the EPD website, there are links to the various subjects. And again, if you're super lost, all right, because it's difficult to navigate, consider checking your faculty mentor. We might be able to guide you. Or you can ask, which are the subjects you're interested, and then maybe Catherine, you can share the links with them. Yeah, all right. Any other question? Don't have. Everyone shy. How do you find your faculty mentor? I think we sent you a list, didn't we? Yeah. So you have to, we were the ones who help you, figure out your track, special, preferred track, enroll your subjects, stuff like that. Yeah. You can write to us again. Then when I say write to us, write to Catherine again, and she can send you the list again. But I don't think we want to avoid, emailing the whole cohort. All right. So if you can't find an email, drop Catherine an email, she will share it with you. Okay. Can do. Cool. Yeah, because if nothing much more, it's a nice Friday, you can go home early, prepare for your Chinese New Year, get ready your e-wallet to receive all your e-angpao, then remember me, share with me also. Okay? Everyone okay? Oh, awesome. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody. So for those who attended, we will actually verify attendance and distribute, let you know when to collect the Gongcha vouchers again. So probably after Chinese New Year week, because most of us won't be around next week.
Okay, enjoy your Gongcha.
Thank you, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Bye.